We are live on ERi-TV with English news broadcast viewers. Hello and thank you for joining us. Do stay tuned for a domestic and international report for April 17th, 2026. Reporting live from our headquarters in Asmara and inviting you to stay with us is Heaven Johannes, your news anchor for this session. Let's begin with the top stories. Seminar in connection with International Workers' Day conducted in ERi subzone. Vocational training provided to youth in Maimena subzone. In our international, Burkina Faso dissolves more than 100 NGOs and civil society groups. And Spain and Brazil discuss on bilateral cooperation. Welcome again. In our domestic news, the National Confederation of Eritrean Workers branch in the southern region conducted a seminar for government workers in the ERi subzone in connection with International Workers' Day. The participants of the seminar were employees of the electricity institution, commercial bank, telecommunication, and the College of Language Studies. At the seminar, Mr. Tesfit Hagos, an industrial policy expert, gave an extensive briefing focusing on boosting productivity, the theoretical concept of productivity, the process and strategy of productivity, the significance of the capacity and human resources of members, as well as the role of introducing and renovating machines. Mr. Tesfit noted that enhancing productivity increases the level of competitiveness and that the productivity of individuals and institutions contributes to the productivity of the society and the country. The participants conducted extensive discussions on the issues raised at the seminar and adopted various recommendations, including the establishment of kindergartens at the institutions with a view to enhancing the productivity of women, sustainably organizing similar seminars, as well as organizing training programs to enhance the capacity of workers. Noting that productivity begins with psychological readiness, Mr. Haptaitis Fazgi, administrator of the subzone, called for due attention to be given to enhancing productivity. Meanwhile, the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch in the Maimena subzone provided vocational training to 45 youth in the subzone. Mr. Yaman Ahmedhani, head of the union branch in the subzone, said that the theoretical and practical training aimed at enhancing the overall capacity of the youth included electrical installation and maintenance as well as electronics. Commending the training opportunity provided to them, representatives of the trainees expressed readiness to apply practically the knowledge they gained from the training. Lieutenant Colonel Abraham Haile, administrator of the subzone, on his part, noted that nurturing competent youth is key to building a prosperous country and called for the organization of similar training programs for use in the subzone. At the event, an exhibition of materials produced by the trainees was displayed. Do stay tuned, dear viewers, for we'll be back with the international news after the short break. Welcome back. Our international news begins with Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso's government has ordered the dissolution of more than 100 associations and civil society groups. The Ministry of Territorial Administration and Mobility announced it on Wednesday the dissolution of 118 non-government organizations and associations in accordance with current legal provisions and a ban on their activities, citing they have been causing security, political and administrative problems. Wednesday's statement by the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Mobility invited the heads of the newly banned associations to conform to the July 2025 law. It is to be recalled the government of Burkina Faso ordered the dissolution of about 100 political parties in January of this year. Burkina Faso is fighting a long-running battle with armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIL. Non-government organizations with international funding are regularly accused of spying for and colluding with them. In another news, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez welcomed today, April 17th, Brazilian President Luiz Lula da Silva with military honors in Barcelona. The two heads of state will lead meetings of the global left in Barcelona on Friday and Saturday in a bid to defend multilateralism and mobilize left-wing movements against the far right. The meetings organized by Spain and left-wing political networks come as US President Donald Trump's swift cuts to humanitarian aid, military interventions, and threats to abandon NATO have shaken the status quo of international relations and prompted a rethink of global commitments. The aim of the so-called Global Progressive Mobilization starting on Friday is to mobilize advocates of left-wing ideas, culminating in a declaration of common actions on goals from defending democracy to the green transition, organized states. A second meeting on Saturday entitled In Defense of Democracy is organized by the Spanish government and is the fourth installment of a summit launched by Brazil and Spain in 2024. In today's final report, a fire at Australia's largest refinery has added to the pressure the country is already under as fuel supplies globally are under strain. The blaze at Viva Energy's refinery in Geelong broke out on Wednesday night and comes at a bad time for Australia, which imports 80% of its fuel needs and has been racing to lock in additional supply from regional allies due to the US-Israeli war on Iran. The 120,000 barrel per day refinery is currently operating at reduced rates, producing about 60% of petrol output and 80% of diesel and aviation fuel after the fire hit two of its petrol processing units. The refinery supplies more than half of the fuel used in Victoria, Australia's second most populous state, and around a tenth of national demand. Australia has been signing memorandums of understanding with Singapore, Brunei and Malaysia in the past week in its effort to shore up energy supplies. With this, we'll conclude our domestic and international report for this session, dear viewers. Now the top stories once more. Seminar in connection with International Workers' Day. Vocational training provided to youth in Maimena subzone. Burkina Faso dissolves more than 100 NGOs and civil society groups. And Spain and Brazil discuss on bilateral cooperation. This was The World on Friday with ERi-TV English News Broadcast. Dear viewers, from all of us here, thank you for watching.